Good evening, welcome to the DBS Sports. Brian Kallick standing in for Kenton Kazime. The big story tonight, Darren Sammy Cricket Ground to host Test match on Sri Lanka's visit to the Caribbean next year. Well, Cricket West Indies announced today the schedule for the international home series between West Indies and Sri Lanka next year. Windies will face the Sri Lankans next June in 3 tests in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados and St. Lucia. Sri Lanka have previously played tests at Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad and Tobago and the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, formerly the Bosesju Cricket Ground in St. Lucia, but this would be the first time they will play a test at the iconic Kensington Oval in Barbados. This will be the Sri Lankans' 4th official tour of the Caribbean, where they have won 1, lost 3 and drawn 2 of the 6 tests they have played so far. The schedule of matches as follows: Wednesday, May 30th to Friday, June 1st, the tour match at the Brian Lara Cricket Ground in Trinidad, while from Wednesday, June 6th to Sunday, June 10th, the first test at Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. Thursday, June 14th to Monday, June 18th, the second test at the Kensington Oval in Barbados, and Saturday, June 23rd to Wednesday, June 27th, the third test at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground right here in St. Lucia. In the first quarterfinal game played on Saturday, 2nd December at the Marshall Grounds, and we're talking Mayor Cup football, big players came from behind to defeat a spirited Obla Fusion 3-1. The second quarterfinal of the day between Lancers FC and B1 FC was full of intrigue and drama as both teams battled for supremacy. However, it was Lancers who would rule supreme as they edged out their opponent 3-2. For Lancers, Trevor Daniel, David St. Rose and Travis Japierre were the goal scorers, while for B1, Yannick Howell and Neville Altinor were the goal scorers. The action continued yesterday with 2 remaining quarterfinals. The first game played between Naya FC and Bays FC. Naya FC with goals from O'Neill Alexander and Emery Edward sealed the semi-final spot. The final game of the evening featured Cup favourites VSADC against Better Finkers. The Cup favourites lived up to that billing, hammering Better Finkers 9-0. VADC's scoring was led by Shaquille De Gazo and Jonathan Symphorian, both scoring hat-tricks, while Simeon Francis and Louis in the 59th and Dave Reynolds chipped in with the other goals. The semi-finals will now be played on Sunday, December 10th at the Marshall Grounds. At 2 p.m, VSADC will come up against Lancers, while Naya FC will do battle with big players. We switch to dominoes. Wasco is the new intercommercial domino champions for 2017, in case you missed it. In what started off like a very close match after the first 2 sit-ins, with the score reading Wasco on 22 points and Fire Service and Scotiabank both tied on 24 points each. Benedict Gaston for Wasco, who played like he had not played in the tournament before, and won his first set 6 points, leaving the Fire Service on a -1 and the Scotiabank player on 0. He would go on in his next set to score 6 again, and this time leaving both players on the opposing teams on 0. This is where the match changed for Wasco, and they went on to win the match with 76 points, leaving Fire Service on 62 points and Scotiabank on 54 points. The top scorers were for Wasco, it was Benedict Gaston, 16 points, the St. Lucia Fire Service, Ron Joseph with 16 points, and for Scotiabank was Kelly Roberts with 13 points. The Department of Youth Development and Sports will be introducing members of the National Under-15 cricket team who will be defending their Windward Islands Under-15 cricket title, which they have won over the past 4 years. This activity will take place at the conference room of the Department of Youth Development and Sports on Wednesday, December 6th, starting at 10 a.m. The team continued preparations on the weekend with nets and a practice match at the Mindo Phillip Park. This year's tournament will again be sponsored by the Winlot Inc. and will bowl off on December 10th in St. Vincent. And now on a sad note, it is with deep sadness that the St. Lucia National Cricket Association mourns the loss of George Alfred. Mr. Alfred served the Cricket Association in numerous capacities. In his earlier years, he was a prolific opening batsman for St. Lucia and also served as captain. He was one of the few St. Lucian cricketers to represent the then Combined Islands during the West Indies 4-day championship. He was also a regular member of the Windward Islands senior team. In the 60s and 70s, he was a dominant force in local cricket. Mr. Alfred played well into his 50s and never turned down the opportunity to serve. At the conclusion of his playing days, Mr. Alfred served as a selector and later chairman of the selectors for St. Lucia and a selector for the Windward Islands. He was also passionate about his cricket. May his family be consoled by his memory, and may he rest in perfect peace. We take a break, and when we return, Windward Islands Volcanoes suffer another defeat, while the Windies go down versus New Zealand, and Manchester United spoils Arsenal's unbeaten home run. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. Well, in regional cricket, captain of the Jamaica Scorpions, spinner Nikita Miller, has cited a record 9th wicket partnership of 141 runs between himself and batsman Fabian Allen as key to their commanding 10-wicket win over the Windward Islands Volcanoes in the 5th round Cricket West Indies Digital 4-Day Championship at the Sabina Park yesterday. The matchup, which ended earlier on the 4th day, saw the Scorpions not losing a wicket in a chase for victory of 35 runs after they had earlier dismissed the Windwards for 186 in their second innings. The Windward Islands, led by an unbeaten 116 from opener Devon Smith, made 200 in their first innings, to which Jamaica replied with 352. Up-and-coming middle-order batsman Aline, with 105 not out, and opener John Campbell, 71, led the way for Jamaica, with Miller, 52, being the next best. Meanwhile, a rampant Guyana Jaguars outplayed Barbados Pride to win the 5th round Cricket West Indies Professional Cricket League 4-day game by 8 wickets yesterday at the National Stadium, Providence in Guyana. The scores in the match: Barbados Pride 294 and 197, the Guyana Jaguars 314 and 181 for 2. And just to remind viewers that Jamaica will also be playing the Windward Islands right here in St. Lucia from next Thursday. Further afield, the defiance that the West Indies had found on day 3 wilted. The wickets fell in a heap for the second time in the test, and New Zealand sped to an innings and 67-run victory, the hosts Quicks having wiped the opposition out with the second new ball. They added only 105 to the overnight score and lost their last 7 wickets for just 62 runs in the space of 20 overs. The New Zealand Quicks shed the wickets around as the opposition perished to a series of poor strokes. Matt Henry picked up 3 for 57, Trent Bolt 2 for 87, Colin de Graham 2 for 40, Neil Wagner 2 for 102, and Mitchell Santa 1 for 25 tore through the visitors with ease. So the West Indies going down 1-0 so far in the 3-match series. In football, when Manchester United ruthlessly punished defensive errors to become the first side to win a league game at Arsenal since January in one of the matches of the season so far. Jose Mourinho's side were reduced to 10 men late on when Paul Pogba was sent off for a dangerous tackle, and they were aided by a stunning goalkeeping display by David De Gea throughout. But they did telling damage early on when Antonio Valencia pounced on a loose Laura Colstilny passed to drill up the opener before Jesse Lingard side-footed a second after Robin Shogdran Mustafi to link smartly with Romelu Lukaku and Anthony Martial. Lingard was also on hand to tap in a third on 63 minutes after good work by Pogba. So Manchester United keeps their second position while Manchester City continues to head the table. And finally tonight, the eyes of the sporting world will be on the International Olympic Committee's headquarters in Lausanne on Tuesday evening when President Thomas Bach announces whether he and his board have banned Russia from the 2018 Winter Olympics. For an Olympic powerhouse nation, the host of the next Football World Cup, no less to be cast an international sporting pariah, will be unprecedented. But just 66 days before Pyeongchang 2018 starts on 9th of February, the signing point to Bach doing precisely that. The German and his board will have spent the afternoon poring over the findings and recommendations of a 16-month investigation headed up by the former president of Switzerland, Samuel Schmid. Now to our thought to take you through the night. A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. Stay tuned. The DBS News continues.